This episode of Talk About Games is sponsored by Loot Crate. This month's theme is Arena. Go to lootcrate.com/Cinemassacre to get yours, and make sure to use coupon code Cinemassacre for 10% off.
All right, guys, today Brian and I are here, and we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan. Before we get into a lot of the negative things about the game, I want to mention a couple things that are positive about the game. Because we had just played it, and I want to say right off the bat that I really liked the art style of this game. Although I will say that the turtles themselves kind of looked a little too young. They were more like Teenage Mutant Ninja toddlers than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the other thing I liked about the game was that there was a good variety of enemies to fight. Lots of different enemies. Those were the good aspects from playing the game, but it was largely negative. This was a game that was released by Platinum, which made the Transformers game, which Ryan and I reviewed, and we thought that game was awesome. But this one, I think, fell short.
Yeah, I mean, if you like games like Transformers Devastation or like any of the Bayonetta games, this is probably going to be a game that you're going to enjoy. But for more generalist game players, there's going to be a lot of problems. Some of the things I liked about the game were like the bosses. Yeah,
like there was Slash in the game, and I thought he looked awesome. Although he looked a little more like Toka than he did Slash, like the classic Slash. But the game looks fantastic. But the gameplay, I wasn't a big fan of. Not that the Platinum style of gameplay can be great, but for this game, I think that you're looking more for. I think people that go into playing a Ninja Turtle game are looking to play something more along the lines of Turtles in Time, because that is such an iconic game. That the beat 'em up, classic beat 'em up style, like the Turtles arcade game, Turtles in Time, all those type of games. It's really hard to play a Ninja Turtle game with this style because you just have it ingrained into your memory because it's such a famous. That's one of the most famous video games of all time. And then you play this and it's like, this isn't really what I want to be doing. I kind of want the Turtles in Time game. Now I know a few years back there was I think it was called Turtles in Time Reshelled or something.
They updated the graphics and things like that.
So they've already done that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, I understand why they didn't do that with this game since that's already been done. But still, I was not really a fan of the gameplay here for a Turtles game.
There's these huge environments that are totally unnecessary because they're not filled with anything. So
there was a lot of empty space.
Big city that has all this stuff, and there's nothing in it. It's just buildings and emptiness. Big sewer that goes on forever. Emptiness. Big subway. Emptiness. And then there's two types of enemies in this game. There's little tiny ones that you kill in 3 hits, and there's big gigantic bosses that you just beat on. They're basically damage piñatas that soak up all the damage, but there's really not much rhyme or reason to it. Playing through the game, we were getting A rank on every stage that we played, and I didn't feel like I did anything to deserve it because I felt like I was just mashing buttons and throwing out the super moves, the ninjutsu moves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I was doing, and I understand that the combat is deep, but I didn't feel like the combat did anything to bring me in. Whereas when I'm playing the classic game, I'm like, oh, that's a white foot soldier. He's going to have this move. Oh, these are the orange ones, the purple ones.
I felt like there was just too much going on.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what the biggest problem with the game was. And for me, that goes back once again, and this goes into a whole larger discussion of games in general, but this game did not have local co-op. We were playing the game and Ryan's sitting there playing it and I'm sitting there with my thumb up my ass and I can't play it, or vice versa. I'm playing it and Ryan's sitting there with his thumb up his ass, and that's a big problem, especially with a franchise like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Michelangelo, he's the party dude. It's supposed to be a party, like party with your friends, but guess what? There's no fucking party here because you're playing the game by yourself. Now the other turtles in the game are like off fighting in the corner or whatever they're doing. So the other turtles are in the game and they're fighting, but the fact that there's no local co-op is total bullshit. And there's been a lot of games that have had that problem recently. It tends to be a new trend in the modern era of gaming not to have local co-op. But I think that is complete and utter horseshit. And there is no excuse to not have local co-op in a Ninja Turtles game of all games.
Absolutely. These games, beat 'em ups, were inherently social experiences. When you played Streets of Rage 2, when you played games like Final Fight, they were social experiences. You played with your friends. They were really great. Now I need to go drive home to play with my friends, and I don't like that. But they're trying to kind of supplement that by putting all 4 turtles in front of you. So all 4 turtles are always in the game. You switch between them, but they're off doing something. That creates a bunch of problems. Number one, you can't see what the hell's going on because there's
the camera angles,
all this shit happening, and the camera's going all over the place, and there's so many turtles, and that's rough. The other thing that's really rough about it is when you're trying to find which turtles you still have super moves left on, you got to switch between all of them
with the D-pad and everything,
which is really clunky.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, this is a game that has stealth missions in it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a stealth mission with 3 AI dudes. That's insane. I was in the 1 sewer level, and I played perfect. I got 4 of the 5 enemies.
Was that when you were defusing the bombs?
No, this was before the bombs.
Okay.
I had to stealth kill 5 enemies.
Okay.
And if one of them got alerted, then that would create, like, there'd be an ambush. So I killed the first 4 guys, and there was no ambushes. Then I got to the 5th guy, and all of a sudden, all my turtle bros come down, and they're like, yo, dude, and they ruin it, and I can't do my stealth kill. There's a big difference between Assassin's Creed and Transformers Devastation, and they're incompatible things, especially when you got AI guys everywhere.
Another problem I found with the game, with the gameplay, was that I played the first stage, and I'm going around, I'm looking for what to do, and I had a hard time figuring out where I was supposed to go. There was one part of the game where I was looking for Rocksteady to fight. He's the boss at the end of the level. I'm going around, I'm walking around the subways, I can't figure out where to go, and I'm saying to Ryan, I'm like, why isn't there some kind of radar system or whatever? And then we finally get to the 3rd stage. Now Ryan's playing, and it gets to the part where he's gonna go fight Slash, who's the 3rd boss?
Yeah, he's like the 3rd
boss. 2nd or 3rd boss. So he's heading to Slash, and all of a sudden, an arrow pops up on the screen, which is what I was looking for when I was looking for Rocksteady. So it seems like they only added the arrow on the 3rd stage. It seems like this game was maybe the game was rushed or incomplete. Why is there an arrow on the 3rd stage and not when I was looking for Rocksteady? That's very bad.
And the interesting thing is the Rocksteady level had like these trains that you take all these different places, and it was very big and very same looking. My level was a sewer tube that went in nearly a straight line. So why do I all of a sudden get the arrow? That's just sloppy.
And he's going around the sewer and he's defusing bombs. Let me tell you something. One thing Ninja Turtle fans don't want any more of in their video games is defusing fucking bombs underwater, okay?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the dam level in the original Ninja Turtles like made many kids throw that game down in frustration. I think the main reason the original Ninja Turtles has the somewhat mixed reputation it has is because of that stage.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Another issue I had was with the progression system in the game. Each of the turtles has what they call a loadout, where there are 4 special attacks that they can access. And the 4 special attacks can be picked beforehand, and they can be individually leveled up. So you have a combo attack, then you have a level 2 combo attack, then you may have a healing ability. You have these abilities. There's really nothing to differentiate the turtles. So I can literally have 4 turtles that were carbon copies of each other. One of the hallmarks of Ninja Turtles is that the turtles all have their own personality. You know, Donnie's good with computers.
Yeah,
Michelangelo's a party dude.
Right.
You know? And it doesn't do that. I would love for each of the characters to have a unique skill tree.
Yeah. I gotta talk about one other thing with this game that's complete fucking bullshit, and that is the fact that they turned Master Splinter into the fucking shopkeeper. Okay. Master Splinter is supposed to be the old wise sage telling the turtles what to do, but in this game, he's selling you fucking Surge Colas.
Yeah, it's like Monster Energy drinks for everybody. It's like, no, you're Master Splinter. You're supposed to be talking about Zen and stuff like that.
That is a fucking insult to the character of Splinter, and it's really... What were they thinking?
Yeah, what were they thinking? Well, you know, the one thing they did get right is that Donatello has a pizza screensaver where the pizza flies all around in the cutscenes. That's, I guess, the only thing.
You know what? I did
good.
like some of the cutscenes were cool. When I saw Rocksteady appear on screen, he looked awesome. When Slash comes out and it's like the cutscene, it looked really cool. So. Great style to the game, but so many problems.
One of the things that I have a problem with this game, but I praised Doom about, was how they took a generic cyber demon fight and they turned it into a mechanic-driven, pattern battle type fight. This game regresses from the type of pattern battles we had even on the Super Nintendo and turns it into just a damage fest.
Yeah.
Like, if you're fighting Rocksteady, it should feel like a fight with Rocksteady. Rocksteady and Slash
heavy, he's breaking things.
Should feel different. It'd be cool if, like, when you were fighting Rocksteady, if you had to have him charge into the oncoming trains to damage him or something like that. If you're fighting Slash, maybe there's something where you confuse him by running in circles.
That reminds me of one of the Spider-Man games that I played. It might have been on PS2 or PS3 or something like that.
Right.
There was the Rhino, and there's a fight where Spider-Man has to jump out of the way and get the Rhino to go into like a barrel or something. That seemed like the kind of fight you were looking for with Rocksteady. And there was none of that. It was just like the fight with Slash was the same fucking fight pretty much that there was with Rocksteady. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, it's avoid the big flashing lights, but then half the time the entire floor is red. So it's I love games where you have to dodge like the attacks in advance, where they telegraph the attacks, but this was just a poor implementation of that. Overall, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a game that I really wanted to like. When I see these licensed games like Transformers, like Ninja Turtles, it really pulls at my heart because these are the things I liked as a kid. But this game did nothing for me and nothing with the license.
I was actually really excited to try this game, but from the first screen that I saw, the turtles were just not the turtle design that was appealing to me at all. It's not the turtles from the movie. It's not. I mean, the new movie.
Yeah.
Even that might have been better, but it's like these really young looking turtles, and I was just like, oh boy, this is a bad sign. And then we start playing the game, and the gameplay is like really poor. The camera angles are not good. This game is littered with problems, and it's really upsetting that they did such a good job with Transformers Devastation. I really liked what they did with that game, that they couldn't put the same quality into this game that they did with Transformers. It's a shame.
I think this game probably needed a few more months.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.